Has the 13th Parliament absconded its main role and left the electorate for the dogs? That is our conversation today here on Richard Mwangi Exclusive, your go-to point on matters political and governance analysis here in Kenya and across the region. Always a distinct privilege to have you on board. I'm Richard Mwangi, and let's get straight to the show. But before that, allow me to introduce our analyst for the day. He is none other than East Africa's renowned public scholar and Kenya's most sought-after political analyst. The first of his name, the man who continues to age gracefully, Herman Manyora. Today, all calm, laid back. Why this low energy?
Low energy, once in a while.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, are you disappointed by the finance bill of 2024, something like that? Or?
Why would I be disappointed? Why?
We already seen an outcry already in the air, much as the bill has not been passed into an act. And it begs the question, now that you're talking about representation, legislation, role of the parliament of the day, and lawmaking, let's begin from this aspect of the country feeling disappointed by the parliament of the day. And it begs the question, Kenyans are the same people who voted for the 13th parliament, and now they are crying over issues such as the high cost of living. The finance bill of 2024 is by and large going to be approved, even with what others say it contains predatory tax measures therein. Would you say that Kenyans are the authors sort of their own misfortune?
Yeah, yes and no. Depends on how you look at it. On the surface of it, yes. The people are being forced to chew their own medicine. Yeah. They have made their bed, they should lie on the bed. They elect these useless people, they must live with them. But if you look at it at a much more deeper level, much more critical, you see the people have been debased and misused and conditioned over years until they are no longer very rational human beings because of the conditions they have been made to go through as human beings. Yeah.
Well, in the political landscape, there is one strategy which some people have tried, which is impoverish the masses so that you can manipulate them. Do you think that's the case that has played out in Kenya?
I don't want to say yes and no, yes or no, but I know that is true. I am forgetting the person. There's a well-expounded theory on poverty and leadership, that if you want to lead people, let them be poor, and they will follow you.
Very well.
So that is there, but whether that is the case in Kenya is another story. Yeah.
Just the other day, we saw Agriculture CS, Honorable Mithika Linturi, get away with the impeachment motion that was leveled against him. And there are quotas who believe that even the impeachment motion itself was dead on arrival, case in point Junet Mohammed. And it begs the question, could there be a case whereby money has actually compromised the parliament of the day, that it can assent to anything just because money is playing in the air?
You know, we have been made to believe and we have been told, and in a few instances, I think it has been demonstrated that our parliament is weak. It is easy to manipulate. It pampers to the whims of the executive. We have been told money always changes hands in parliament. We have been told the money could be as little as 10,000 shillings. And worse, it could even be in such a terrible places like in toilets. So all that is possible. And we've been told. Yeah.
And so do you propose that maybe as a nation we recalibrate our attitude towards money, or even the aspect of finding dignity in labor, so that corruption or money does not become a vice that can be used against a certain agenda?
I'm of the view, and I strongly hold that view, that until we give money its rightful place, this country will never go anywhere.
It wouldn't?
Never. Look at the roads. I was trying to drive in town, across town. The roads are just almost washed off, all of them.
In Nairobi City?
Yeah. You try and see, after these rains, the roads are in pathetic states. You've seen across the country, roads being washed away even by just a rumor of rainfall, and the road is already running away. The engineers, these roads were supervised by engineers, but the engineers want money. So they certify the roads as well done, as completed, when they have not been done. So because we have given money some place it doesn't deserve. So I believe that for this country to get to a point where we can move the country forward, we must arrest money and put it where it belongs. Okay? We must make people look foolish if they carry bags of money. We must also make it difficult for people to handle cash. Okay? We must just have to handle the demon of money. Money is a demon for this country, which we must deal with. If you don't deal with the demon of money in this country, nothing else will move, because money is everything. Yeah.
It is the the starting point of every reform that we foresee.
Yes.
But then again, would you then say that in the Kenya's political setup, there could be cases whereby someone asks for your vote not because they want to represent you or to legislate on your behalf, but oftentimes it could have been informed by a desire for primitive accumulation of wealth. Could that case be here with us?
That's what I also said. Even in terms of representation, in terms of leadership, let's stay with Parliament, elected representatives. You cannot get good governors, good members of Parliament, and so on and so forth, good MCAs, until you arrest the issue of money. First, it is those with money who will get the votes. Get it? Because you come there empty-handed, you talk, people say, okay, now we have heard. Hata maliza, we have heard. Tupatie yetu haraka. Kama nuko kwetu vijana wanasema pombe tare itaisha.
Itaongezwa maji.
Itaongezwa maji. Lete yetu haraka. Before you finish, they are already queuing. When you go and address people in the villages during election, you are halfway and they are queuing, so that you can give them theirs and they go. That's one. So because money we place it in a bad place, those with money will be elected. They may not be the best leaders. Secondly, people are becoming members of Parliament because of the privileges there. So until you address the issue of money, so that, for example, you don't go to Parliament to earn money, you go to represent the people of Kenya. You have something burning in you, something in your belly.
A higher calling.
Yes, but there's no money there. But for today, Parliament is a place where you go and make money. Therefore, you can never have an MP. You just have those thugs who are there. So you must remove money from Parliament. Let it be as an institution of service.
Not a center for wheeler dealers.
In some countries, I think South Africa or what, even let us have a parliamentary village where we have put up houses. For the time you are an MP in Nairobi, if you don't have a house in Nairobi, come take one house there and stay there. We don't give you any money. This house can stay. It's furnished, everything. The school is there. You can take your children if you are a young MP. Everything is there. Parliamentary village. No money. You don't need money. We just facilitate you. We give you 3 research assistants. We pay them for you. You do your work. You talk in the Parliament. Hakuna CDF. You are not giving people jobs. No, you are not a labor officer. Yours is just to work in Parliament, to talk in Parliament, to do research and contribute towards bills and oversight national government. And there's no money there. Your salary is like 150 or 100 or 200,000. There are no sitting allowances.
A job like any other.
Just like any other. Hakuna gari kubwa unapewa.
Chess cars and all that.
Hakuna mileage. No, you just do your work like anybody else. That way you'll see the quality of members of Parliament we shall have.
Very well.
Yes.
Moving on swiftly, in this decade that we are in, there has been this piling pressure for us to have young blood in Parliament, in the parliaments of the day, young people, and I mean youth, those under 35 years according to the Kenyan Constitution. But we've seen a number of them, talk of Babu Owino, Jalango, Samson Cherargei, a number of them, Gathoni Wamshomba. To this end, do you feel that we've sort of achieved that envisioned end of this being the real agents of change that we so desired initially?
So far, there's nothing to write home about. Because what happens is, the young men go there and join the old men. We send their women to represent other women, then they join the men.
The same agents of change we were hoping for?
So, because we didn't get it right. I am not a believer in affirmative action, unless it is extremely necessary. I believe in us having a system that works. When you have a system that works, everybody in society benefits, whether they are women, they are youth. That's how I look at life.
Two-third gender rule should not take
No, I don't believe in that nonsense.
In such a government?
No, not women. I don't believe there's nothing like women. I believe, first of all, in making sure there are equal opportunities for everybody. Kenya long passed the stage where women would not go to school because they were women. Today, unlike during my time, if a girl gets grades and a boy goes there to sleep in school, the father will take the girl to high school. So that's what I believe in. Equal opportunities for all, regardless of anything else, genders, whatever it is.
Whether you are a retiree, you can still be elected into parliament.
Yes, anybody. So what I'm believing in, once the system is working, then people benefit. But to get sections of this the society, so let's take their women. They don't speak for women. You deny a man a chance to take their woman, maybe that man would have made life bearable to women of this country. You say, let's promote young people. They go there, they are wash. They enter, they begin fashion competition. Have you seen young people in parliament? They are in a competition of who has the best shoe, who has the best watch. Now, so what is the point of youth there now? There's nothing. Nothing comes out. Let's run proper systems. I don't care even if parliament was 101% men. But it was a parliament that was delivering to the people of this country. Yes.
You don't want to foresee a situation whereby a young lawyer comes in with what you normally term plastic suits. A year later, they are donning designer suits.
No, you see, that's because you have taken young people there. Amevaa kama sisi, kuanzia kwa kiatu mpaka kwa kila kitu amevaa shilingi 8,000 from the shoe, everything 8,000. A year later, he's dressed in 2 million. Another year later, he's dressed in 10, 15 million. Because a watch alone now, I've seen they are competing with watches, all of them. Check MPs, they are competing with watches, and they don't keep time anywhere.
To the tune of millions, one can do that?
These watches these young men are wearing, these people, politicians are, there's no watch there below 5 million.
That could sponsor over 100 bursaries.
The cheapest is 2 million shillings. If you have a watch of 2 million in parliament, people laugh at you.
This is not your home.
You're useless. You must have a watch of $50,000.
The place of money in the parliament of the day.
Yeah.
Very well. And as we close, we edge closer to the wrap of the show. Let me understand this. During the last financial year, especially when we were coming up with the Finance Act of 2023, we had cases whereby some members of parliament came forth, even those from the government side, and said the finance bill of 2023 was so voluptuous. It was a large document. We could not go through it. Perhaps why we are sent into some bills without really looking at them with thoroughness and forethought. Do you foresee such a situation playing out even with the finance bill of 2024? Could we have such a case?
Those are just excuses. But it could also be true they can't have, they have time, they don't have time for anything. They only have time for two things: looking for money and showing off. They don't have time to read.
They have been elected to represent, to legislate.
They can't. And they are labor officers. They are the ones looking for jobs for people. They are CDF managers. They are the ones distributing CDF checks. I'm yet to see a CDF check being distributed anywhere in the country where the MP is not there. He's the one distributing.
An MP is micromanaging the constituency?
Yes, so they can't have time to read the document. And most of them are semi-literate anyway.
So you won't be surprised even once finance bill of 2024 sails through, someone comes forward with such an excuse that they never had the grace of time.
I wouldn't doubt them.
You wouldn't doubt them?
Because they don't have the time, and those who have time don't even have the capacity to read the document.
It begs the question, I mean, who then is the savior of Kenyans going forth?
Kenyans will save themselves.
When?
But since they will never do it consciously, it is through pain that Kenyans will deliver themselves. You can take this to the bank, write it somewhere and tuck it in a safe place. There will be a revolution in this country.
In our lifetime?
Of course, not even in my lifetime, not your lifetime, my lifetime.
What we are seeing in West Africa could trickle down to East Africa.
Something worse. Look at what Parliament is doing. They are given a simple assignment just to show the people of Kenya that we feel you. We know you are suffering. We know some of us are responsible for your suffering. Let's send just one of us home. Just as a small sign, a small indicator that we know the country is suffering. We know there's mismanagement, and we can speak for the people of this country. Let Linturi go home. That alone they can do. A small thing like that. They are inviting a revolution. It will come so huge. I've said in the past that when some of these leaders will be in Mozambique as refugees, they'll wish they had listened to what we are telling them. This is your country.
Can a revolution still happen with or without Raila in the picture?
In fact, a Raila revolution cannot happen.
Without him, it can?
No, Raila is a politician. A politician cannot bring a revolution. It is the people of Kenya who just say they can't take it anymore. Not Raila. It won't be Raila. It's just the people say no more. These things Parliament is doing, for example, they are underrating, for example, this idea of Linturi, things like the collective anger in the country, the pain.
Public mood.
The public mood. No modern country can ignore public mood when it's that high. You are courting disaster. And I've told them, when you are a refugee somewhere, you'll think. The problem with Kenyans, we are not traveled. We don't travel, I included.
Exposure. We
don't even know what happened in Uganda. We have never known even things that happened across us. It is the interest of everybody in this country. But much more so those who have things. Those who are blessed are here. When you have things, you are blessed. It is in their interest to ensure things are working well. That people are not pushed to the wall. Because when there is an implosion, when people say we can't take it anymore, people like Manyora will just go back to the village in Luombe. Nothing. I mean, I have nothing to lose.
Utakuwa yule paka kwa msafara wa ndovu.
Mimi, I'm just there. I have nothing. I own nothing in this town. So I'll just go home. I can even walk. During the land clashes, what were they called? Not land clashes.
It's about land defense.
No, the tribal clashes.
Oh, yeah.
2007, 2008.
Okay.
My sister walked from Kericho to home.
Okay.
My own sister, Jessica, from Kericho to home. That's about 100 kilometers. She was so traumatized. It took her years before she could watch television.
We can lose a nation 60 years later after independence?
Yeah. So me, if I walk slowly, I get to Luombe, I'm okay. But there are people who will be crying because of the things they are leaving behind.
People will go for the billions after the billions?
Of course.
With or without the help of ESCC, DCI, you name it?
Which, these things, let me tell you, please. And I have said, and where I work at the university, people tell me, Manyora, mdomo yako ni kali sana. Usio ukisema vitu huwa inafanyika. I don't know why. Mdomo yangu ni kali. Those who are stealing things today, these things will be taken back. You can take that to the bank. They will all be taken back. Even if there's no revolution. A time is coming when you have a really serious judiciary and somebody in power who just want things to work well. And the people who are now boasting they are living in the best places in this town, driving the best cars, all of them will be looking for where to hide. When I'm in the village in Luombe, and I'm not trying to celebrate poverty, and neither am I saying I'm poor. When I'm in the village and I see a vehicle coming, dust, and I'm seated under the mango tree, I can see far, because
your home is on a hill.
Yeah, that's why I'm hillman. My father wanted me to be hillman. So when I went to school, I wrote Herman. So he came and corrected me. So it's hillman. I added Ara, Herman. It was hillman because we are on a hill.
On a hill.
And that's where I was born. So when I see a vehicle coming, you know what I should be thinking? Who of my sons could be coming? Is it Richard? This is around Christmas. Anaweza kuwa Richard anakuniletea Christmas. You get what I'm saying?
I get it.
Is it my grandson? Or is it my daughter?
A child I mentored many years ago.
Yeah, somebody now, the way it is coming now, it has even passed Luombe school now. It's now, it can only be coming to my home.
The smile is now on your face.
Who did I last talk to? Alikuwa Richard. Anataka kuniiba, eh? You want to surprise me. But other Kenyans will be looking for where to hide. You know why?
Why?
They fear that somebody could be coming for them. Because of the things they stole. And that is the life you are going to see tomorrow. In my lifetime, not your lifetime. It's going to happen in my lifetime.
The leafy suburbs in Nairobi, Ruto.
Oh, my friend, you'll see guys moving from Lavington to Dandora. Because they are inviting it. You see what people do in developed countries. For the rich to enjoy their life, they make sure the poor live some basic minimum of life. Their children can go to some school.
dignified living.
Yes, they can afford some meal kidogo tu.
Petty
Here,
bourgeois.
the rich here think they can eat to the exclusion of everybody else. They want to steal mpaka pesa ya mama kwenda kujifungua maternity, wanaiba. Mpaka mama akienda kujifungua mtu anambebea mtungi ya maji. Anaenda kununua, analeta kwa maternity, kwa health center. That's the level of theft we are talking about. That's how insensitive our thieves are. And that's why I'm telling you that such a kind of thing cannot last. It cannot last. That kind of greed cannot last. It will burst, and those with the property will regret why they had it. And even before you get there, the level of crime is going to be so bad. Already it is bad, and I've said before, that soon even to utajificha wapi ukule hii pesa umeiba? Utajificha wapi? Today in the village, let me tell you, just to sleep, sound sleep, with everybody around you being so poor. I have told you where I come from. We grow bananas. How do you distinguish if you see a building in my place? There's a small building. Is it somebody's home or is it a church or something like that? There's a small banana plantation. Where there's a banana plantation, you know that is a home. Right? So we are good at bananas, although we don't have sufficient land. These days you can't have a banana. Before it puts anything edible inside, somebody has gone with it.
And that in Vihiga County it's happening?
Yes. Chicken,
so you must have an entire squadron of dogs.
In our place in our place, very good for cassava. Now cassava can't even put on anything. I gave an example and somebody called me, Herman Manyora, you like exaggerating. I said, next to my place, boys, they do this when they're coming from night vigil for Matanga, disco Matanga. The boys went to a nearby stream and collected enough water to make the soil wet enough for them to uproot cassava in somebody's farm. That is the level of desperation. That's the level of poverty this country is in. And that's why I tell the rich in this country, you are not safe. The only way you can be safe, moderate your theft. Muibe kwa mpango na muibe kidogo. Na muachie maskini yao ya kukula. That way, utakaa Lavington. You remember how I have explained even in my book? You read it?
Yeah, sure.
How do you think God, like Chinua Achebe says, why did God make the poor so many? Why are the poor so many? You think God is stupid? He loves them more. They are the majority. And look at it this way. How come next to Lavington, there is Kawangware? Next to Mudavadi, there is Madari. How come? Kibra, Karen, Langata. How come for every of these huge, rich, nice places, kuna kaslam kubwa hapo? This is to remind the rich that the line between you and these people is so thin.
You could easily
These people don't need a bridge. And I've given this example before. I accompanied some big boy in this country to have lunch at the residence of some huge ambassador in this country, from some huge country. While I was enjoying lunch outside, in Mudavadi, I could see there was only a small river, and I was seeing people across Madari doing their thing. You could see even Changadi stealing. Kwa river hapo tu. When I'm taking lunch, I'm seeing what they are doing, so which means it's not far.
Stone throw away.
Why do you think that is so? The rich are so stupid and so blind that they don't see those things. They don't see that it is just
in a snap and things change. And
your world changes. We are so comfortable, we take everything for granted. You wake up in the morning, unaingia pale, "Hi mtoto, darling, nani?" Unapeleka shule. Driver anapiga gari, king,
international school.
That can disappear just check. It's all gone. It's gone. It's gone for you.
From grace to grace.
It's gone. For you, it's gone. But for the person in Kibra and Madare, nothing has changed. In fact, for the first time, they can drive your car.
or at least afford that pizza.
There's something I will not say because you can't say on TV, but I'll just say, those who are there will see. 1982, when there was the attempted coup, both the boys in blue and now Raila wakawa join. They targeted certain community in looting. But beyond looting, there's something else they were doing. I will not mention what it is. Those who are there know what I mean. So even those good things you enjoy, and I will not mention them, these other people also want to enjoy them. But because there's order in society, they cannot come for those things. They let you enjoy them. So let there be order in society. Don't break laws the way the big people are doing. And don't think you can eat at the exclusion of these others. Weenda kula 5-course meal yako, lakini wacha mwananchi akule madondo na chapati. Asubuhi akunywe uji. Akunywe
uji at least.
Uji tu, alafu aende. Atembee kwa mguu kazini. Atembee
kwa mguu.
Wewe ingia Mercedes yako enda. Acha yeye atembee kwa mguu. Amekunywa huu. Akiwa kazini, wale wamama wanauzanga maharage, at least aweze kuafford maharage, si ndio? Madondo na chapati, 50 bob. Na akirudi nyumbani, aweze kununua sukuma wiki ya shilingi 20 watoto yake wakule. That way you will enjoy your good things. But we want to imagine them, they can go hungry completely.
That would be a revolution in the offing.
That's where we are going.
Well, that point by Herman Manyora takes us to the wrap of this conversation. He has been imploring in the Parliament of the Day to better represent the people so that they don't feel as children of a lesser God, without which a revolution could be in the offing. That is his sentiments. Until we meet next on Richard Mwenje Exclusive, it's always a pleasure to have you on board. Tune in to other programs on the show with Jadiel Kabiru, Evans Okinya, and also Prof himself. And we wait to see your feedback on what we've been churning forth for you and whether we are making the impact that you also desire. We wait to see this conversation unroll beyond here. Get to our Twitter handles. I'm at Mwenje Richard on Twitter, at H Manyora on Twitter as well. Keep this conversation going beyond here. And until we meet next on Exclusive with Richard Mwenje, do enjoy the rest of your viewing.